Hello and welcome to this short film of the Church of St James and St John in Dorrington, Lincolnshire. Now look at that, big fat chunky tower, a very small nave and a large chancel with a big south door. A single gargoyle looks down from this early English and decorated tower. This church has a lot of mystery surrounding it, not only in its unusual proportions. You see, the church stands rather detached from the village, and according to legend, the distance to the church became something of an inconvenience to the villagers, and they decided to rebuild it in a more central position, and so they set about the task of moving the rocks. 2 nights in a row, every stone they moved returned to where it had started from. The 3rd night they thought, okay, we will wait and see who is moving these stones. But when they came back, the stones were still there, so they went off for breakfast. Returned from breakfast, the stones were gone. Most odd and unusual. Another thing that's rather unusual is this east end. You've got this wonderful carving of the Last Judgment, all weathered but very prominent in its stone. Anyway, back to the story. Presumably, they thought, the devil preferred the church to be a long way from the houses. But the same story is also told about the attempts of a Saxon thane, Tochi, to build a chapel at a place called Chapel Hill. This seems to have been pulled down in 1698 and its stones used to repair the church. The church is said to stand on the site of a pagan temple, and if you look through the window on St. Thomas's night, you will see the devil and some witches playing marbles inside. Also, there's supposed to be the ghost of a bride who walks out of the church porch and down to the churchyard gate. Interestingly, the tower, which is a good example of decorated work, once had pinnacles and a spire. Oh, these are interesting. These little crosses marked in the porch. They were from the medieval times when people went on pilgrimages, and it was hopefully to give them good luck, or when they returned to say thank you for saving us and keeping us well. Let's get back to that tower. It had pinnacles and a spire, but in 1330 the east wall fell out and had to be replaced. You can see inside the church the north aisle and the south aisle are relatively similar, although they both have these large arches standing on small pillars. Oh, down there in the southern end of the south aisle, there is a stone altar, and these were normally destroyed during the Reformation. Up there's the clear story from the 15th century. Now that's a normal piscina, and above it there's a stairway going up to what would have been a rood loft. The pulpit on the right, but in the middle, that little square, that's the piscina that took my interest, and we'll see it more clearly very soon. These are almost fragile, these pillars, holding the massive weight. And here we have the west tower door. Above it, you will see the old outline of the original roof, much steeper because it would have been thatched, so water would pour off it far easier than when it was slated. Anthony Oldfield, a gentleman of the parish with his wife, Elizabella. He died in the 1670s, and this lovely memorial was placed to him by his children 5 years later. Much of the work that was undertaken in the Victorian period was in the chancel. Oh, there's the funeral bier, still used in many, many churches. Oh, and in the middle there, that's that piscina. Isn't it unusual and odd and looking very archaic, almost like a stoop? The west window here in the chancel was donated in the 1870s when the whole chancel was refurbished and raised to its present level. The whole cost of the endeavour was £1,500. No small sum in those days. And here is a font big enough to baptise a foal. Thank you very much for watching this short film of St. John and St. James in Dorrington. Thank you.